This is the story of a boy who dares to grow up, and in doing so, dares to change his world.
Tommy stood at the edge of the living room, his heart pounding like a drum. Every summer, he had journeyed to his grandparents' house with his parents, a tradition filled with laughter and love. But this year was different. This year, he felt the stirrings of independence, a desire to prove he was no longer a little boy. He took a deep breath, his small hands clenched into fists at his sides.
This summer, I want to go to Grandma's alone.
Alone? Tommy, it's a long trip.
The sunlight streamed through the window, casting a golden glow on his determined face.
Are you sure, Tommy? It's not easy being on a train all by yourself.
I'm not a little kid anymore. I can do it. I'm not scared.
He's growing up, love. He'll be fine.
He could hear his parents' voices in the kitchen, a comforting murmur that suddenly seemed so far away. The argument between his parents had been brief but intense, their voices rising and falling like a storm. Tommy stood by, his heart in his throat, as they debated his request. Finally, his mother sighed, a mix of worry and acceptance in her eyes. His father nodded, a proud yet anxious smile tugging at his lips. Tommy's heart soared. He hugged his parents tightly, feeling a rush of excitement and a twinge of fear. The next morning, they stood on the platform, the train's whistle echoing in the distance. The air was thick with the scent of adventure and the promise of new experiences. Just as Tommy was about to step onto the train, his father knelt down and handed him a small folded note.
All right, son. But if you feel scared or alone, read this. Just something to remind you you're not far.
What is it? I'm not scared. I'm not scared.
His eyes filled with love and reassurance. Tommy took the note, his fingers trembling slightly. He looked up at his father, seeing the unspoken words in his eyes. With a final hug, he boarded the train, clutching the note tightly. As the train pulled away, he waved at his parents, a mix of excitement and nervousness bubbling inside him. He knew that whatever happened, he wasn't truly alone. Just then, the conductor approaches to check his ticket.
Ticket, young man. Are you traveling alone?
I'm not alone.
It's a big responsibility to travel alone. Stay safe.
The conductor asks with a serious expression. Tommy's heart races and he feels a lump in his throat. He nods, feeling more scared than ever. But then he remembers his father's comforting words. With trembling hands, he reaches into his pocket and pulls out the note. As he reads it, his father's loving message fills him with warmth and courage. He reads the comforting words. Dear Tommy, we are so proud of you for being brave and taking this journey on your own. Remember, you are never truly alone. We are always with you in spirit. If you ever feel scared, just look out the window and imagine us right there with you, cheering you on. Love, Dad. At the bottom of the note, there's an additional message that catches Tommy's eye. P.S.
I'm in the last train car.
Tommy's eyes widen with surprise and relief. He realizes that his father is actually on the train, just a few cars away.
Dad's here?
He hurriedly gathers his things, running down the aisle toward the last car. The faces of the passengers seem less intimidating now as his focus sharpens. He reaches the door to the last car, breathless. But when he opens it, there's no one there.
He's here, in spirit.
Tommy feels a surge of warmth and confidence. He knows his father is nearby, ready to support him if needed. but also trusts him to handle this adventure on his own. With a big smile, Tommy looks out the window, feeling the presence of his parents in the clouds and knowing they are always there for him. Filled with joy and a newfound sense of independence, Tommy continues his journey, excited for the adventures that await at his grandparents' house. As a kid, you have to understand that your parents will always be on the last train, ready to help you.
Even when you can't see them.
As a parent, you have to understand that when the time comes, you have to let your son go alone.